Now draw your knees together, and if it helps you to have pillows again under your hips, please do so. Now have a few pillows available to you because we're going to be coming into a reclined posture which can put pressure on your hips. Unbend your right leg, please, bringing it straight ahead on the mattress with the heel facing the bottom of your bed. Make sure that that left knee is in next to your right knee so that it's not out to the side. Now, first take your hands and elbows back behind you. If you find that your left buttock is raised up off the bed, place a pillow under your right buttock. The inclination would be to eliminate the space under the left, but actually by placing the pillow under the right buttock, you equalize the relationship between the spine and the two hips, thus taking pressure off the sacroiliac joints on each side. If you can stay in this posture with your left knee down on the bed and no strain, then come back a little more, perhaps onto your elbows, or if it feels good to you, all the way back. You might want to have a pillow under your back. What we're reaching for here is a relaxation pose, not tension and prayers to a higher source to come out of the posture. Feel your quadricep. Now, one of the ways, if your ego isn't letting you see whether you're relaxed or not, to know is, can you flex the quad? Can you lift that left hip, flex the quadricep, and then release it back down into the mat without the left knee coming off the bed? That's when you'll know whether you're back too far or not. If you can do this, lifting the left hip and then releasing, then you're fine. If not, come back up a little bit, maybe resting on your elbows or forearms, and work for about 5 breath cycles on lifting the hip, releasing it back down, making sure that left knee stays on the bed. Breathing, breathing, breathing. This posture is really about how different one body is from another. So only you know, should your upper body be back down on the bed? Should it be up on supported by your elbows, or all the way back up, supported by your hands? It's also a wonderful practice for noticing your internal critic. Is there some voice inside you saying you should be able to do more than you can? Just as the path to yoga heaven is not lined with extended hamstrings, it's also not lined with flexible quads. Get yourself into a position that feels comfortable. And for these last few breaths, focus on your hips. Let your hips drop down into the bed. You can only focus on your hips if your quads aren't screaming at you. Now deepen your breath. Deepen your breath. Pressing down on your elbows so that you take the strain off your low back. come back up. And switch sides, placing the right leg under, releasing the left. And just sit here for a moment, setting yourself up, taking pillows under your hips as necessary. And on this side, we're going to do it sequentially. We're not going to come all the way back right away, even if that was your inclination. Focus here on the hips all the way back. So first, let's come back to the hands. You may feel nothing at all here. Lift your quads, lift your hips, and then drop them back down. Now come back down, resting on your elbows. Soften your jaw. Don't let that head hang too much, so drop your chin. Again, knee into the bed, lift your hip, and release. Now, if the hip doesn't get all the way down to the floor, stop right there. But if that's very comfortable for you, continue on back. Again, find your place so you can focus on the hips dropping down into the bed. Breathe and breathe and breathe, and begin that alternating lifting of the hip, but dropping the knee, making this about the quad, not the knee, and then exhaling, dropping the hip into the bed. Breathing all the while, inhaling and exhaling. Deepen your breath. Drop your hips into the bed. Notice the difference, one side to the other. And then as you're ready, if you can release easily that bent leg, come back to Shavasana. You may need to come up first so there's no strain in the knee, but bring that right leg out next to the left. And then lie back down. Bring all your attention into your hips. Notice how you feel. Now move your awareness up your body from the hips, into the belly, the low back, the rib cage, into your heart. Feel your head pressing down into the bed. And then scan back down to your hips. And continue with your mind's eye, visualizing right down to your toes. Breathe, relax, and release into each part of the body that's calling your attention. This is what Shavasana is all about.